Hey everyone, it's Naomi, and I am here to take a little bit of your time today to debunk a yoga myth. That's right. So you're going to hang out with me today to talk about a yoga myth that I think needs to be eradicated off of the face of this yoga mat. So the yoga myth that I want to debunk today is the idea that you have to have strong arms in order to do an arm balance. Strong arms, strong upper body in order to do any kind of arm balance, whether it's a handstand or a crow pose or anything else that remotely involves you balancing on your arms. I'm here to tell you today that that is not true, not even a little bit. Okay, so if you don't need strong arms in order to balance in an arm balance, what do you need? Well, you need arm confidence. So it's not strong arms that you need arm confidence. Okay, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like incredibly woo-woo and really out there and like a little bit too yoga, but it's the truth. Okay, more often than not, your ability to balance on your hands or on your arms, barring injury, has a lot to do with mindset, has a lot to do with whether or not you believe you can hold up your own weight. Okay, and most of us think that, we weigh too much to hold up. I've heard people say things as crazy as like, my butt is too big to get it over my head in order to do a handstand. Or my legs are too heavy to hold myself in crow pose. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. Okay, your body is well designed to hold itself up in a variety of different positions. But here's the catch, and here's the important part. The important part is that from an evolutionary standpoint, we're designed to stand on these bad girls, or good girls as the case may be. You are designed to stand and walk and move around on your legs, not your arms. Okay, it's like if you take a look at them, if you measure them side by side in terms of size, my foot, I know it's not the best reference, my foot is bigger than my hand, okay, and my legs look a whole lot more sturdy than my arms. And so the first thing that I'm going to think of when I'm trying, if I go to do an arm balance, and I'm a little bit new to this, I'm going to think, wow, I'm really used to walking around on my legs and my feet. I don't really ever walk around on my hands. They can't possibly hold up my entire body. That's crazy. And so immediately that seed of disbelief gets planted. Okay, and it's sort of legit, right? Like the truth is that it, from a biological, evolutionary standpoint, this is what we're accustomed to. This is what we've evolved into. We did not evolve to walk on our hands. Instead, our hands and our arms are designed for much more dexterous work. For much more specific and intricate work, for holding things, for manipulating things, for just for a greater sensitivity and specificity. Whereas our feet, they're designed for gripping and holding and proprioception, helping us balance. That's really what they're designed for in a lot of ways, and that's what we've evolved into. That doesn't mean that we can't teach ourselves new tricks and teach our bodies how to evolve and to grow and shift in a different direction. Okay, so it's so much less about arm strength than it is about arm confidence when it comes to balancing on your arms and holding up your own weight. Okay, so that's a really important thing to remember. Okay, now all that said, some of the things that you do in order to gain arm confidence has a lot to do with holding yourself in certain poses for long periods of time. Why? Well, if I hold myself in a pose, for example, like downward facing dog, for a minute or 2 minutes or even longer, what that tells me is that I have endurance and stability. Okay, if I can hold myself there for a longer period of time, my body goes, oh, things are possible. That's cool. And so I start to believe that I can hold myself up. Right? If I teach myself that I can hold myself in a pose for a longer period of time, my mind starts to get with the program and say, well, if I can do this, I can definitely try to bring my knees towards my upper arms and lift my feet away from the floor into crow pose. Why not? So part of it is tricking ourselves into believing that we have something that we didn't have before. But here's the other really cool thing, is that once you start holding yourself in some of these prep poses for a little bit longer, you actually do start to build more upper body strength. I thought you said that, but wait a minute. I thought you said that we didn't need upper body strength for arm balance as well. You don't and you do. Right? The stronger you are in your upper body, the longer you can hold yourself in those poses, the more you can work on funkier, more challenging transitions that might not be available just because you're confident. Think of it this way. If you've ever seen somebody on Instagram or even on YouTube, doing some crazy arm balance transition, what you're not seeing is all the work that went into it. Okay, what you're not seeing is how many times they were willing to allow themselves to fall out of the pose. You know, most people have to practice a lot and a lot and a lot and over and over and over and over again. And what does that do? It builds confidence, and over time it builds strength. So you get both. So once you start playing with these prep poses and holding them for longer periods of time, you're not only building up arm confidence and body confidence, but you're also building up the strength that you need to hold those poses even longer. So what I want to do is walk you through a few basic poses that you can hold and build up to holding for longer periods of time so that you start to feel a little bit more confident in your upper body, so that you can start working on those arm balances and those inversions that you really want to do without feeling like you can't do it. Sound decent? I thought so. So let's get at it. First pose we're going to do is downward facing dog. So downward facing dog is a pretty fantastic inversion. Yes, it's an inversion. It's the #1 best pose that you can do to prep yourself for any inversion or arm balance, because it's like a gateway pose. It's the one that initiates you into everything else. So you just take your regular old downward facing dog with your hands as wide apart as your shoulders and knees as wide as your hips. Okay, feet as wide as your knees. You then press into your feet and lift your knees away from the floor. You know, a lot of times when we get into downward facing dog, there's like wiggling and pedaling and like shaking out your hair like you're in an 80s video. Don't do that. I mean, you can. But once you're more stable, anchor yourself into your hands, into your arms. And you do that by lifting your arm bones up, so your armpits are nice and hollow, and then integrating your arm bones by sending your chest towards the floor. You do that without dropping your belly, so you want your belly lifted. Now, your heels can be lifted, that's fine. Heels can be reaching towards the floor, but you want steadiness from arms to feet, and we're just going to be here for a minute. That's it, just a minute. Yeah, and if you have an itch, like rub your face on your arm. Don't lift your hand up, be steady. And breathe. Okay, because the tendency is, when we get into downward facing dog, is to wiggle and to move, in part because, you know, we are wiggly, movie sort of people, but also because the longer you're in a pose, the more tired your body gets. The more bored you might get. Let your head hang, be heavy, you don't need to see me. I haven't changed position since we started. A minute. And you're about 20 seconds away from being done. Okay, but you move around and wiggle so that you can, you know, redistribute your weight, so you don't have to be in the same pose for a really long time. So you can shift and grow. And we're right at that minute. Now, you can come down now, or you can hold with me for another minute. Now, if you've never done this before, I highly recommend taking a break. Because ultimately, you want to build up to 2 minutes in downward facing dog in order to feel really, really confident, in order to get yourself into poses like, you know, an inverted L or a half handstand, in order to feel a little bit steadier in your plank pose. Okay, so we're right about at 1.5 minutes now. So if you feel like you need to come down, please do. Don't wiggle though. Instead of wiggling, just stay steady and take your knees to the floor. Keep pressing into your fingers, lift your arm bones up, send your chest down without dropping your belly. Keep reaching back through your thighs, anchoring down through your arms at the same time. Head is heavy. Your head, my head, everybody's head in this pose. Okay, for just a few more breaths. Almost done. It's like 3, 2, 1. What's up? That was 2 minutes in downward facing dog. So 2 minutes in downward facing dog, what does that give you? Well, it gives you more confidence in your arms, because you say to yourself, I just held that damn pose for 2 minutes. I'm amazing, right? It also helps you build strength, and it helps you build endurance, and it helps you build steadiness. So when you do try to go into a pose like handstand, for example, okay, like if you were going to try a pose like a handstand, I'll show really quickly. Okay, like I know that when I start to kick up, I know that I can play with it a little bit, because I've already done a 2 minute downward facing dog. So I can sort of allow myself to play there and not feel like my arms are going to give out. Right? Pretty awesome, right? Okay, moving on to your second pose that you want to work on in terms of holding and movement, and that pose is plank pose. So plank pose is pretty challenging, right? Plank pose You come from downward facing dog. And you come on forward into a plank, shoulders directly over your wrists. Your legs are strong, arms are strong. And ultimately, you want to build up to about a minute in plank pose. If you've never done this before, I don't recommend being in plank pose for a minute. If you've only held plank poses when you've done vinyasa classes and you've busted through them like you're trying to get through a yellow light, then you want to hold for 10 seconds, which is where we've been at so far. Okay, so you can keep yourself here. You can lower your knees at any time and then lift them back up. But you gotta squeeze them out with your fingers and just get really steady. Now, if you can build up to a minute in plank, that's gonna give you a hell of a lot of confidence in other arm balances. It's gonna make you feel super powerful. By the way, we've been at this now for almost 45 seconds. That's a long time. Okay, we've got 15 more seconds here or so. Keep gripping that mat, root straight down through your arms without dropping your belly, and squeeze your legs, squeeze your butt a little bit, just for 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. 5 more, oh wait, no, we're done. Okay, and shake that bad boy out. That was a minute in plank pose. That's amazing. Okay, now think of it this way. If you're newer to that, do you want to hold it for a minute? Absolutely not. Do you want to build up to a minute? Absolutely, yes. Because if you're building up to something incrementally, what that's telling you is, oh, this is possible, I can do this, right? I'm moving in this direction. But if you just try to throw yourself in whole hog all at once, and you can't do it, what's the first thing that your mind is gonna say? I'm not strong enough. Not true. You just have to build up to it, right? And you have to teach yourself that a lot of this confidence has to do with repetition and consistency and, just getting after it. Another thing that you can do in plank pose, though, which is not about holding the pose, but about mobility, is this. You can come on into plank. Because a lot of the same inversions, and I'll show this in a minute, is about moving forward and back. Now, if you want to do it more on your knees instead of in plank, all you have to do is shift forward until your shoulders go past your wrists, and then back. Forward, shoulders past your wrists, and back. And forward, shoulders past your wrists. Your feet don't lift up. I don't want to see any of this business. Nobody does a plank with their feet away from the floor. You shouldn't either, even if your knees are down. Okay, forward and back. You need your feet on the ground. Now you can do this in full plank as well. Forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And you just do that up to 5 to 10 times. Really, really good for your wrists. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, because if you're going to go into a handstand, your shoulders actually have to go past your wrists. If you're going to go into crow pose at any point, your shoulders have to go past your wrists. I'll show really quickly. If I go into crow pose, see how my shoulders go past my wrists? When I lift my feet up? Now, if I'm not accustomed to that action, and I try to lift my feet away from the floor, and my shoulders are past my wrists, I'm not going to think I can do it. It's going to feel like too much, so I have to build up to that. Okay, same thing is going to be true in that handstand. When I go up in a handstand for the first time, my shoulders are going to go past my wrists. Okay, so you have to think about what are those stepping stones to get me where I need to go. The next thing that you want to work on is dolphin pose. That's another really good one, holding and stabilizing. So dolphin pose are really similar to downward facing dog. It's just with your forearms on the floor. Okay, now, there are a couple of ways to do dolphin, and what I'm going to say is, if you feel like you don't have a lot of stability in your upper body, grab a block or interlace your fingers, because that's going to help you access your upper body strength. Okay, if you feel like you have a good amount of strength in your upper body, you don't need that, or a good amount of stability, I'll say. Maybe not strength, but stability. So, I'll show both ways with the block. You would hold on to the sides of the block, lift your knees away from the floor, and just hold. And I'm going to do it this way because I like it, it feels nice. And we're going to be here for a minute at least. Okay, now remember, if you're newer to holding dolphin or even to holding dolphin pose, your forearms on the floor, your elbows are as wide apart as your shoulders. Just like dog, you're not trying to get your heels down necessarily. Your knees can be bent, your heels can be lifted, but try not to wiggle back and forth. I'm adjusting my arms to make sure they're in the right spot, and I'm squeezing the block with my forearms to create more upper body action. And we're right about at 30 seconds. So that's half of a minute. And you might notice that it's harder to hold dolphin than it is downward facing dog, right? A little bit more challenging. Serious stuff. Okay, and if it feels like too much, just come on down. You're trying to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze with your arms. We're almost at that minute mark. In dolphin, your gaze should be in the middle of where your wrists and your elbows are. So you don't want to crank your head too forward, you don't want to drop it completely, somewhere in between. You're right about at the end of that minute. So you can go ahead and lower your knees. Okay, so it's nice to have a block, right? If you had that block. But keep in mind, with dolphin pose, it's going to be a little bit harder because it's asking more of your shoulders, and the distance between your shoulder and the floor is shortened. So instead of having this length between, like the whole length of your arm, you have half of that length. Okay, so you have just less mobility there. So it's just asking more of your shoulder joint. Not good or bad, just asking more. So the great thing about dolphin is that it prepares you in the same way that downward facing dog prepares you for things like handstand and crow pose. Dolphin pose prepares you for things like forearm stand or for headstand or anything that's going to require a tighter orientation of your upper body. Okay, so if you can hold dolphin for a longer period of time, the next step is, there are two next steps, and one of them, and I'm doing the fingers and release version, one of them is I come up into dolphin and can I lift a leg and hold it? Maybe for 10 seconds. So I'm just holding and breathing and pressing down from my upper back into my arms as much as I lift up through my leg. So there's an equal amount of extension there. And then I'll switch. And can I hold it as I lift my other leg up? Can I hold, can I hold, can I hold? And just be here. Can my upper body work to hold me? And extend. Oh. Ah. Make whatever noises you need to make. This can be intense. And then you can come on down and rest. Okay, so if you can get into dolphin pose and you can hold dolphin with one leg up for 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, you're doing pretty well. And that's going to say to you, I'm okay. Like, I've got some strength. And so you start thinking that things are possible. Right? When you start doing that, you can get into a place of forearm stand. Right? Like, when you start thinking, hey, I can lift that leg up. Oh, wow. My upper body can hold me. I got this. And while it still might take a little while to get there, you know that because your upper body can hold you, because you've done it before, because you've been consistent, that it's possible. Okay, so much of upper body confidence has to do with consistency and repetition and holding, and creating the space for possibility. Okay, so the last thing that you can do in dolphin pose that can prepare you not only for forearm stand and headstand, but also for some other lower to the ground inversions. Okay, I like to do this with my fingers interlaced. You can do it with your hands flat on the floor as well. Lots of ways to do it. I'm going to do it with my hands flat on the floor just so you can see. And I'm going to come up into dolphin pose, and then I shift forward and go back. So it's sort of like doing dolphin push-ups, similar to what you did in plank. So I shift forward, I'm way up on my tiptoes, then shift back, shift forward, shift back, shift forward, shift back, shift forward, shift back, shift forward, and back. Okay, and you can do that 5 times, 10 times, just enough to warm up your body and get you into the mindset that I can move myself in this pose. I can go down and up, down and up. And it gives me the reference to say, not only can I hold myself here, but I can move into and out of it and not fall out. Okay, like I can control the movement. And when it comes to arm balances and inversions, so much of it is about, can I control the movement so that I don't fall on my face? Right? Can I be smooth and skillful with my movement instead of feeling like, I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that bad things don't happen, right? Now keep in mind with all of these, so much of the process, as I said before, is about falling out of them. Okay, so if you do still fall out of poses, just make sure you have a crash pad handy in case you need it, or even more pillows than this. But just know, that's not even saying to yourself, I don't believe in myself. That's also saying, like, I know that falling is likely. I just want to have a cushion, a nice cushion to fall on. So, hopefully this has given you a little bit more insight into the reality that your arm balances are not based completely on how buff your arms are, how strong your upper body is, but instead how strong your mind is, and how confident you are in your upper body, and how willing you are to hold yourself in some of these poses to find the confidence to actually build more strength. Yeah. So, hopefully this has given you a lot of food for thought, and it's given you a lot to work on when it comes to building your upper body confidence. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I would love to hear how this impacts your arm balance practice and your inversion practice. Please leave comments below and let me know how this practice went for you and what you think about it. As always, I love hanging out with you, and if you like hanging out with me on the mat, you can click that button in the bottom right corner and subscribe so that you can get videos like this delivered to your inbox every Monday when I share them with the YouTube world, because I would love to continue to share them with you on a regular basis. So go ahead and hit subscribe if you want more from me. And as always, thank you for spending a little bit of time on your yoga mat with me. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And I look forward to seeing you again really soon.